Hello everyone, welcome back. Okay. We're going to dive into a cheeky FA Cup match and then another match in the league. You can see how we'd started the season here. The league's been a total walkover, as we kind of got the feeling it would be from those first games we played on stream yesterday. And I'm not expecting much competition in the FA Cup here for this first round. We're playing someone at our level, so Welling are towards the mid-table of the parallel division, the National League South, and we're currently top of the National League North, so Welling should not be a big issue for us. I said they're towards the mid-table. They're kind of the mid-table. There's, you know, they're close to the playoffs. They're a point off the playoffs, so who knows. In terms of our own league performance, though, if we just take a look here, Macclesfield have kept up pace, and they've been winning quite well as well. Look at most of the games; they've got at least a 2-goal advantage. I really didn't think, after how much they struggled at the start of last season, that they were going to be keeping pace with us this year. When I saw the season preview and it put them second, I was like, oh, there's no way. There's no way they're getting the playoff spot and maybe following us up. Because last season, when we were in the Northern Premier League Premier Division, let's have a look here and go back to last season. They were 8 points off second, they were a mile behind us, and their schedule in the league I mean, look how they started. The start of that campaign for them was abysmal. In the first 10 games, they had 3 draws and 2 wins. Which is what, 10 games and 9 points. Then they started to figure out how to play football after that and kind of shocked me. Especially this run at the end here. Like from Ashton onwards, or that run in the middle there, like November and December, they just hit another gear, didn't lose a single match. Here's the squad we're rolling with for our first cup match though. We're going to give Kovacevic a starting goal. Andy Appan's just come back from an injury, so I'm maybe only going to use him for 45 minutes. And then we're going to swap him out for Longbottom. Do we get 5 subs at in this competition? Five from 7, we do. So I can actually put the other 2 on the bench here just in case. Risdale's just had a little bit of a knock, a little bit of an injury, but I kind of do want to get a bit of fitness back onto Akinwale, who has only had the 1 game for us so far this year. But he did score 5 goals in it, so, you know, there's something. Risdale's keeping up that 3 goal contributions a match as well, which is nice to see. I think he's our star frontman, that's for sure. And then obviously we'd already seen the league table here, but we're already 56 goal difference from 7 games. The league's going to be a walkover. I was in 2 minds to whether bother showing you the second match tonight against Kings Lynn, who are in 5th. Well, they're up there in the table, so we might as well, right? Plus, a singular match in a stream would be pretty poor. Just going to ignore the team selection advice. We're going to roll with this. We're not too fussed. Andy Appan's already carrying a knock. He's only doing 45 minutes. So it's definitely a rotated side. I think we're fine with all that. The soundtrack you're listening to, by the way, is the soundtrack for the upcoming EU5, which I'll be playing a lot of in the strategy department when it eventually comes out. Still no release date on it yet. Andy Appan with the throw to Kanda, back to him, Battistini, back to Neil. Somehow Akinwale gets the goal there with the assist from Roberts. I half think I'm mad for not starting him every game given the season he had last year, Akinwale. I mean, look at the agility to get that shot off right there. Oof, that was a bit of an effort from Neil there. Maybe he should have looked for a man instead of making that. I love the fact that in the FA Trophy, we're expected to win it every season so far, and we have done to this point. But in the FA Cup, the board's literally expecting us to get knocked out in the first round we play in every year. And for the first 2 seasons, we've made it to the 4th round. So I'd be expecting us to get a lot further than this match right here. Well covered by Will there. Now, from looking at it, maybe he doesn't actually have the potential to go on and be like an actual England player, but he's got nationality for India as well. Akinwale was blisteringly close to another one. So if he doesn't make it as an England international, I imagine he'll make it into the Indian team. I'm a little disappointed we're going to half time and it's only 1. I feel like we've been better than that. Offside, totally offside. There's no way that's counting. That's a mile off. He almost carried that into his own net then. There's number 2. He's onside this time. Much better. And Akinwale's on for a hat-trick, so he's taking the penalty. It's saved. Oof. It's a little bit rough. I would have expected 3 then when we got the penalty, I really would. To say how unfit he is though right now, that's not a bad performance. We're going to make that change to Ndiapan, and we're going to bring Longbottom on for sure. Now we get 5 substitutes, so I'm going to leave Akinwale on to get some fitness. I don't think I'm going to make any more changes yet. Carter's going to have the free kick. And he came bloody close. He came so close. I'm going to leave Akinwale on. I've been letting the striker have a full 90 minutes every time they're playing, and with these 2 here it really has been making me think about playing with 2 up top and changing the tactic around, but I don't want to mess with something that's been working so well for us. And it's nice knowing that when we need it, we've got that kind of, whichever one of them starts, we've got an explosive player on the bench, so we can make 4 changes here. I'm going to leave Spice on because he's working on his fitness, and Battistini. So I think Patrick Jones can come on for Carter despite his great game. Pilgrim for O'Donnell. We'll get Watson on for Ayres, and we'll put Alford in for Kanda. Quadruple substitution at the 60-minute mark. We've been getting a lot of smallish offers for Battistini coming in, like 130k has been the biggest one. Still a 0 short for me to consider selling him at least, but they've been coming in from abroad though. That loan deal to Juve really helped gain him a lot of exposure last season, despite the fact that we didn't have the Italian league loaded. Oh, lovely ball through. Akinwale can't finish, which is really, it's not his usual self. curse of not scoring corners on stream is continuing. And I think I've scored from corners in the last 2 matches as well in the lead up to this, so it's great. As soon as we stream, it doesn't happen. That was a lovely little bit of play. I think what's happening here is teams have started to recognise how much of a threat Akinwale is, so they're putting more pressure on him and to the same Risdale when he plays, and it's just allowing our 2 inside forwards to get some cheeky tap-ins, because it's not the first time something like that's happened. A comfortable match in the cup there, though. He's throwing shade at us. He's saying we aren't as good as we think. How many Newcastles have you beaten in your time, Mr. Maynard? How many times have you drawn with Manchester United? How many times have you drawn with Liverpool? It's 1 for each of those things for us. 0 for you, I would imagine. Throwing the shade at my team. Wait. This happened in real life as well, right? But not by penalties. Well done, Palace. And they were in the Championship. And they've got off to a winning start in the league phase. Not bad for them. The start to the Premier League life has not been fantastic though. A draw and a win and then 4 losses. Or 3 losses, I guess one of those was the Community Shield, wasn't it? They drew City right at the start of the Carabao Cup as well. 19th in the Premier League. Be respectful. We've kind of been respectful the entire way through, so let's just... We'll be mature, we'll move on from it. And that's kind of the thing. If you were media trained, that's kind of the way you'd respond to something like that, right? You wouldn't come out and say, well, like I initially react. How many times have you beaten drawn with Manchester United and Liverpool? How many Newcastles have you knocked out of a cup competition? Right, let's set the team selection. So we're back in the league, so Smith is back in. Andy Epan, I think I'm still going to put him on the bench. Or I'm going to start him. Bamba's out injured as well, so I think we'll play him on the left. We'll play Longbottom on the right, and we'll put Neil on the bench. And then for the central players, O'Donnell on the right, Pilgrim on the left. Sub 2 position can go to Spice, Halford, Watson, Ayers. That's the kind of strongest central midfield setup we've got. And then I want Carter on the right, I want Jones on the left. Lacking a bit for fitness there, so we'll put you on the bench. Risdale's our league man this season. Akinwale is going to be more for the Cups and when Risdale's not fit. And then it's between Roberts and Kanda for that final sub spot. Roberts looks like he's played slightly less. But he's more tired, so I'm going to give the sub position there to Kanda. And actually, I'm going to give Kanda another start here. And he can start instead of Halford. I think that's my preference. Yeah, so how does Andy Epan look, actually? If we take a look at his report here, he's leading championship and could improve slightly. He's probably not making the... He's probably not making the England squad at any point in his career, right? Let's be honest. I love the way it says he's currently on trial at Ryburn and this just hasn't updated itself, despite the fact that he's been playing with us for, I should say had spent his entire career at Tottenham. He might make the Indian squad. Or the Welsh squad at a push. Right, we've got the draw for the next round. So we've not had the National League join in yet, have we? This is still the tier we're playing at the highest tier teams that we can get, I think. Torquay would have been a nice one. We got ourselves Leatherhead, who were the tier that we just come up from, and they came down from. Wait, hang on. Did they come down? No, they did not. How are they holding themselves in there? Not having the best of seasons. They were predicted somewhere up here and they're down towards the bottom of the mid-table. There were some tasty teams still left in there. I wouldn't have minded maybe Chester again or Rushden Diamonds. That would have been quite nice. So when's that match? Really not far away. We won't be coming back for that one. That's too soon since. We'll move on to the match with King's Lynn, I think. And then we'll probably take a look at the FA Cup and figure out when the first round proper is. And maybe that might be the point we come back for. He's 17, don't let it get to his head. I say that and I go and praise another youngster. Right, okay. So the fans think that Neil's not been playing well. Are we starting him this match? We're not. Let's give him a run out and we'll put Longbottom on the bench instead. Bamba's almost back from his injury, which is nice. Got a lot of wanted signs next to our players again. Watson's even attracting the attention of PSG. You want him, you better make sure it's in the high 8 figures. You're gonna have to put something in that the board makes me not be able to deal with. He is looking exceptional, by the way, for a 17-year-old. It baffles me that he's not been picked for any youth appearances for England. I'd been comparing him in previous streams to some of the actual England goalkeepers. If we take a look at the senior squad here and just have a look how close he is to Ramsdale. So eccentricity and punching tendency we can immediately ignore. He's slightly worse on strength, he's slightly worse on jumping reach and agility, which is what we're training him on right now. He's better when it comes to speed and natural fitness by a long way, as well as stamina. Not so important. But when it comes to his kind of actual ability to play as a sweeper keeper, oh my god, he rushes out. He's good off the ball. His positioning needs a little bit of work, but he's up there in his mentals for sure. And his aerial reach, 16, compared to Ramsdale's 14. Needs a bit better communication and command of area. Not massive deals. First touch, slightly worse. Handling, slightly worse. Kicking, significantly worse. But they're equal on one-on-ones and passing. Slightly worse reflexes. He is as good, in my opinion, if not better than Ramsdale right now. But one of them is playing for Arsenal, and one of them is playing in the 6th tier of English football. It's wanted by Celtic, Tottenham, Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea. And I don't blame them. But I'm not going to sell him for anything minuscule money-wise unless the board makes me. Barrington's someone I'll look to offload at the end of the season, I think. As the new youth players come in, Barrington's probably on his way out. And Robinson. The only one I think I'm going to praise there would be the last 5 games for Halford. And I'm not going to bother messing with my staff because I messed with my staff at the start of the season. I'm not far into it. How did the under-21s get on against West Brom's under-21s? They've got some good players in their under-21 squad. We've done well so far. Rizdale's picked up another injury. That kind of does move him to the bench then. And we'll let Akinwala start a league match for once. Even if it is only a small knock. I'm just going to acknowledge that. I'm not going to scout the FA Cup. 5-0 win. $15 points from 15. Who have they played so far in the under-21s? They've played West Brom, West Ham, Burnley, Notts Forest and Middlesbrough. I think they're going to walk that league. Grasshoppers are back in for Battistini. It's still nowhere near. We've had the draw for the that was the FA Cup, right? Or was that the FA Trophy? I guess it doesn't matter whatever it was. Right, so we're putting out a slightly stronger side here. Slightly stronger. It's actually recommending we skip back to positive. Which leads me to believe we could be in for a good match. I'm still going to start Andy Epen. Akinwale's got himself booked. Doing well to cut that out. It's over to Carter. Carter to Watson. Watson skipping around. All the way back to the defence now. Looking for a way through. It's through for Akinwale, who goes wide. And over the bar from Kings Lynn. "30 minutes in and we don't have a goal." Macclesfield do though. We're not top of the league anymore as it stands right now. We might be away from home, but I will be throwing a water bottle if we don't get a goal to put us up before half time. So Longbottom's right-sided, right? Yeah. Neil, I'm not bothered which side he plays on. The left's probably better for him anyway. I'm not happy with Akinwale, so he's coming off. I will leave the last substitute up to my mind, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be Battistini if Patrick Jones or Carter don't produce something. Get your act together. Risdale straight away. 24 seconds into the half. Akinwale has his first bad match that I think he's ever played for us. Risdale comes off the bench and immediately just shows him how it's done. Maybe we should have sold Akinwale over the summer instead of selling deadweight like Norquette. Oh, what a goal from Jones. He heard me talk about Battistini coming on. Throwing the water bottle worked. It's a cracking goal as well, straight in the top bins. I think what Risdale's done here is he's just cemented my opinion of him being the starter. I'm going to leave it unchanged. We're just going to make the two subs. I'm not going to make a third. I'm going to let Neil run himself into the ground. 3-0 is not the ideal match, but it's a good recovery from where we were. I'll take it. I can't really criticise it when you look at some. There's quite a lot of them on 8s, so I can't really tell them off. I do think we should have won by a lot more than 3. I had noticed as well that by winning the under-18s league last season, if you take a look at one of the competitions the under-18s team's currently in, they're in the UEFA Youth League. And I would actually say that they've probably got it in them to beat FCSB's youth team with how well they're doing in English football. I think we're going to save this here though. And let's take a look at the FA Cup first round, when that is. That's probably when we come back. So that's the end of October. No, that's the draw. It's the start of November, 9th of November. That's a bit more of a reasonable gap. That'd put us around the Telford-Buxton area, which I think's a bit more reasonable to come back for. Unless the second round, which I also think we'll make it to, is around where the FA Trophy match is. If the second round's like around the 20-something of November, it's around the 30th. Maybe we end up doing a triple header. FA Trophy. It could end up being a quadruple header. But maybe we do a slightly longer one. Who enters at the second round, actually? If we take a look at teams in here. So the third round's obviously the Championship Premier League team. First round's when we get League One opposition. So I think first round, if we draw someone from the Football League, we come back for the first round. If we don't, we come back for the second. because I'd feel confident of beating anyone in the division above us right now. Just not always confident of beating League 2 and League 1 sides, which we have done. Let's just have a quick look and filter this to just the FA Cup. So our first season, Spalding, Helston, Redcar, Nuneaton Borough, Tonbridge, Blythe, and then actual Football League opponents. Charlton 4-0, Rotherham 2-1, 1-1 draw at home against Manchester United, and then the 4-1 defeat at Old Trafford. And then last season, Liversidge, Galston, Paddingham, Eastleigh, National League team, were doing really well, got into the playoffs I think. Then 7-0 against Doncaster in the first round, unbelievable. 3-0 against Mansfield, 3-2 at home to Newcastle with a late goal that sealed it for us. Then a 2-2 draw at Anfield, and our only ever home defeat of the saves so far was when Liverpool came to visit us. And we did get Watson sent off in that match. And the worst thing is, I'm pretty certain in this we gave away a penalty for one of their goals. Yeah, had we not given away that penalty, we could have beaten Liverpool at Anfield and got to the 5th round of the FA Cup. Which, who did they play last season? They played Wolves, and then after that they had a quarter-final against Man City. Now if we'd beaten Newcastle and Liverpool and drawn Wolves, you'd have thought there was a chance of us getting a result. I'm not so convinced of Man City. How have Liverpool done with their competitions? So, it's not won the Champions League. They were runners up in 22. They won the Premier League last year. Runners up the year before that. Runners up the year before that. FA Cup winners there. Carabao Cup last season. Community Shield last season. Under 21's Premier Cup, Under 21's Premier Division Cup last season as well. They were the runner-ups to us in the Under 18's Division 1. And the runners-up in the Under 18's Premier Division Cup to us. So they did the double last season. Is the manager still Stevie G? It is. Gerrard is the manager of Liverpool and has been for quite a while now. Since Klopp's sacking in 22. He's playing a very similar style of football to how we're playing, but I think it's more as emulating Liverpool's style of play rather than him copying us, if I'm totally honest. Right, let's leave this there. I'm thinking I'm going to go make some food maybe, and then I might play something a little bit different for the rest of the evening, maybe a bit of Victoria. Or maybe some CK.